What's up guys, welcome back to Aquatic Elements. In today's video we have a few more fish to enter into the mini monster fish aquarium. Now for those of you who have seen the last few episodes, we got the brand new mini monster aquarium set up and we also got our fish added to it. We have a brand new birch here who was added around a week and a half ago, and we've got definitely my favourite fish, the Datnoids, in here. So the Datnoids have been growing on me month after month, especially after I've got the one in the main monster fish aquarium, and I absolutely love them. They're a fish that are just really captivating. They are really slow growing. There is loads of different grades and qualities to them, and there are also quite a few different types. Now I've got two new fish for this aquarium. I think they're reaching pretty close to the capacity of this tank, and I'm going to show you exactly what we got in today's video. So just below me, just down here, we have our two new fish. Now I have been to Maidenhead Aquatics today, one of my local fish shops, and in these bags here we have, as you can see, some new Datnoids. Now they've actually had these fish in, I think, for the past 4 weeks, and I've been eyeing them up at my local shop. They only had two, so I thought I'd better grab both of them. But they're a little bit bigger than the current Datnoids that we've got in, but they were a really good price. So I saw them and thought I've got to have them, let them settle for a little while at the shop, and we're going to be adding them to the tank today. Now I believe these guys are around 2.5 inches. Don't think they're quite 3 inches. They're probably 2 to 2.5 inches, so a little bit bigger than the 5 current Datnoids we've got in here. But they weren't coloured up, so I don't know what they're going to look like. They might be quite messy, or they might have mismatched bars, so it's definitely going to be interesting to see what these guys look like. But I'm going to take the lids off the tank. I'm going to float them in the top to start the acclimation. We can then get them in. We can then check them out and see what they look like. I'm really hoping they colour up in this tank rather than the sort of bare tanks at the LFS. But it's going to be interesting to see how they get on with the Datnoids I've already got in here. So without further ado, let's start the acclimation process and then we can check them out. I'm just going to take the lid off at this end of the aquarium, and then I'm going to just float the bags in the tank. Now, I'm probably going to float the bags for around half hour, 40 minutes. I'm hoping that the water doesn't come out the top of the tank. So this is the first one, and the tank is pretty full, so we'll see. Hopefully it doesn't raise the water level too much, but that's the first one gone in, and then this will be the second one. Hoping I don't need to take any water out. It's going to be pretty close, but I think we're just about okay. But I've got both of the fish in, so we've got both the Datnoids in. I'll bring the camera around a little bit here, and then we can have a little look at them acclimating in the bags. So you should be able to now see we've got our two Datnoids acclimating in the tank. I'd say this is definitely the bigger one. I'd say this one's probably about 2 inches, and the other one is not quite 2 inches. It might be pretty close, but I would say this one's a good 2 inches and this one's just approaching 2 inches. Now you will be able to see that they are really dark at the moment. They're a little bit stressed out and they're not showing their true colours. And this is exactly what they look like at the fish shop. So I really don't know what these guys are going to look like. I haven't seen if they've got clean bars. I haven't seen how many bars they've got. And that can really dictate the price of these fish. But these guys were a really good price. And I thought it was worth the risk and just trying them out. So as I said, I'm going to leave them in here for about 20, 30, probably 30, 40 minutes. Let them acclimate. We can get them in, and then I'm really hoping they colour up once they see the other Datnoids, and let's see how they get on. But I'll catch you guys in about 30 minutes. And we are back. The fish have now been acclimating for 40 minutes, so the temperature is stable with the temperature in the bag compared to the temperature in the aquarium. So it's time to release our fish. I do have my net, so I'm going to move the camera around, open the bags up, and get these fish in. Now, one of them has coloured up finally, so this is actually the first time I've seen it with its colours, and it's actually looking like a pretty reasonable quality fish. So let's move the camera around, we can get them out of the bags and then get them into the aquarium.
A few moments later.
The first fish will be this one at the front, which is the more coloured up Datnoid. So I'm going to release him into the aquarium first. Now, as I said, these fish have been at my local fish store for around 3 weeks or so, and I'm happy with them. I've been sort of keeping an eye on them, watching them over that period, and they've also been for a treatment, so I'm happy that they haven't got any sort of disease. Now obviously with all fish it's great to quarantine them if you can, but I do not have a quarantine tank set up, so these are just going to go straight into this aquarium. You'll see this is the first Datnoid. Hopefully you can see him on camera there. He's got quite a nice pattern to him. He's got nice 4 bars on this side, and I think he's got sort of 3.5 on that side. So there he goes. I'm going to remove this bag in just a second, but I'll probably actually open up the second bag, get that one out, and then we'll be able to check those fish out. Now it's going to be a little bit difficult for me to determine which is the new fish and which is the fish that has actually been in this tank for a while, but I think, as I mentioned, these new Datnoids are ever so slightly bigger than the other 5 I've got in the aquarium. So I've just got that second bag open, rolling it down now. I'm not doing any drip acclimation or adding any of the water from the tank into the bags. I just want to get them out of their bags as quickly as possible once they've temp acclimated. Now this is definitely the bigger Datnoid, and for those of you who don't know, these are Datnoids microlepis. These are the Indonesian Datnoids, not to be confused with some of the other species, but this is the next one going in. Now this one I haven't really seen much of a pattern on yet. He's quite dark in colour. He hasn't coloured up at all. He's definitely going to be the biggest Datnoid in the tank. He does seem to have quite a nice shape to him, quite a nice high back. So it's going to be interesting to see how he does, but we'll let him get into the tank. I'll probably catch you guys maybe tomorrow or maybe later, and then we can give them some food and check them out and see how they cope with the other Datnoids we've got in the tank. But they're all in now, so let's give it a few hours, or I'll wait till tomorrow and then we can check them out.
One eternity later.
And we are back. It has actually been around 6 days since we added the 2 new Datnoids to the aquarium, and I'm very pleased to say they are doing really well, and they're getting on absolutely fine with the others. There was a little bit of squabbling for the first couple of hours, but after that they all settled in really well. We've had no issues whatsoever. So we have now got 7 Datnoids in this aquarium, and I absolutely love them. They are fast approaching becoming one of my favourite fish to keep, and I would love to get some more for this aquarium. We are probably approaching the maximum stocking capacity, probably got a little bit more room in this tank, but we'll see what we do. I really like these guys. Now there are definitely some that are more stable than others, and I'm actually going to be doing in the next video a full fact file and how to keep Datnoids and every single thing you need to know about the species. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to defrost some bloodworm for them, and I'm going to feed them and we can check them out. Now the 2 new ones aren't quite as stable as some of the other fish in the tank, but they are looking really good. So let's get some food defrosted, we can get some food in the aquarium and we can check them out. Now I've just got some brine shrimp defrosting on top of the tank, just in this little ramekin. So I've got a couple of cubes in here. We're actually going to give these to the fish now. So without me trying to spill it everywhere, I'll just add that to the tank for them. So it's quite difficult to spot the new Datnoids, but it is this one here, which is definitely the biggest. He's got sort of 3.5 bars on one side, and the other side is again about 3.5 bars, slightly mismatched. And the other one is more of an sort of unstable 4 bar on both sides. I'll bring the camera a little bit closer and we can check them out, but as you can see, they are all feeding well. I'll just try and get it a little bit closer. You can see our birch here just chilling up in the corner there. So this is definitely the most stable Datnoid in the tank. Really lovely 4 bar, symmetrical on both sides. But let's take a look at the new one. So first up we've got this guy. He's not quite showing his colours and his bars too well today. trying to get the camera to sort of focus on him, but it's quite difficult with him being in that top corner. And then this is the other new one down here. Oh, here he comes. He's coming a little bit closer. But you can see that activity levels are really, really good, and they're definitely enjoying having the other Datnoids in their aquarium. Now, these guys were really blacked out in the shop. Both of them were really, really blacked out, so they definitely probably weren't the happiest, but now they're in this tank, they definitely seem to look a lot happier, and they've really, really settled in well. There's the other one just in there, just behind that Anubius. He's definitely the sort of higher quality one. Not the most stablest of fish, but you can see the clear bars there. 4 nice bars on that side, and then I think he's got 4, 3.5 on the other side. But that is the fish getting fed. I do feed them a mix of bloodworm and brine shrimp, but as you can see, they're all doing really, really well. But now it's time to wrap up the video now they finished their meal. And that is it for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed seeing the new Datnoids get acclimated and introduced to the new tank, and I'm pleased to say they're doing really well. In the next video, as I mentioned, we're going to be doing a full care guide and how to look after and what to look for when selecting your Datnoids if you do keep them at home. But that's it for today's video. If you do have any questions, please leave them down below. Thank you all for watching. Remember to keep those water changes up, and happy fish keeping.